Now let's take a look at the negative effects of the Citizens United decision. Well, the regulation of campaign finance prevents special interests from controlling the candidate's agenda. This is without doubt one of the strongest points here. Special interests have gotten an access to an alarming amount of money. Special interests are private companies. So since they're private companies, it's very difficult to tell them what they can and can't spend their money on. So with elections becoming more and more and more expensive, candidates need this money to run for re-election. The only way they're going to get that money is to be in favor of legislation that would support the companies which are going to give them money for re-election. This is part of the iron triangle lessons that we were doing in class. Candidates need money to run for re-election. Lobby groups have access to money. PACs raise money. 527 groups use their money to advocate for issues that the candidates support. It's become runaway to the point where it's almost nonsensical on how much money we spend on elections when elections don't actually produce anything. So this country could probably find a better way of spending $6 billion if we think about it. The regulation creates an uneven playing field for candidates who are in the pocket of special interest groups or corporations that may have a vested interest outside of this country. And what I mean by that is not all corporations are American corporations. Many are multinational. So sometimes a corporation might have interests which conflict with the greater good of the United States. If I need money from that corporation, does it necessarily follow that I might pass a law or be in favor of a law, be in favor of the enforcement of law, in a way that doesn't benefit the people of the United States? This was one of the chief concerns of the Founding Fathers, which was why corporations were limited. And the video is going to do a good job of explaining this, but real quickly, corporations before the Civil War used to be temporary. Corporations would be formed to create an individual project. When the project was done, the corporation would be dissolved. After the Civil War, corporations became permanent legal entities, and since then, they have grown. If you consider the business General Electric, which has been around for some time, or if we consider the bank Chase Morgan, well, Morgan is J.P. Morgan's old company from the Gilded Age. These corporations have existed for a very long time and continue to exert a great deal of influence over government policy. The question now is whether or not Citizens United has expanded that influence, and people who are against this decision argue that absolutely, yes, it has. Moreover, the regulation of campaign finance expands the marketplace for ideas, and this runs directly opposite to what the proponents of the Citizens United case say. In this case, the argument is made that if I limit campaign finance reform, well, that creates an even playing field for all sorts of different ideas, as opposed to any one idea that just happens to have a lot of capital investment. So these are our three basic points that we're going to be debating. We're going to be doing some more research on this as a class. I'd like you to have these foundations before you come to class the next time we get together. So please watch this movie that I've got set up for you. Take notes on this one as well. Both movies that I've given you have a very conservative and a very liberal bias. So please, when you watch the movie, watch it with that in mind, that I'm not trying to program you one way or the other, but if somebody makes a video about their political ideas, it's going to have an obvious bias. So please watch it with that respect. The video in favor of Citizens United has a strong pro-business bias. The video here against Citizens United has a very strong anti-business bias. So just keep in mind, like you've been doing since you were in 10th grade, analyzing a document for bias, analyzing a video for bias, it's the same skill. I'll see you guys in class. I hope you enjoyed for classroom number 6.